Welcome, guys, to the Followers of the Force podcast. I'm one of your hosts, David, along with Jason
Hello.
and Emily.
Hey.
And finally, we're back with Star Wars Happy Hour on Saturday night. I was looking at the last one we did, and I think it was right after Disney Plus Day. So it's been a little while.
It's been a
I
while.
don't think that one was very. That wasn't a very happy one. I don't think.
No, it wasn't. It was not a happy episode. A lot of ranting. Maybe deservedly so, maybe not, who knows. But yeah, it's been a little bit, so how are you guys? I mean, I know we did a episode last night, but Emily, you weren't there, so what has been going on with you the past month and a half or so?
Same old, same old.
Good.
I traveled a lot in December. I went a lot of places. And then we had a friend stay for a whole week, and he left yesterday. And so it's just been whirlwind. Haven't watched a lot of Star Wars, so I took today to catch up on Boba Fett, and it was good.
Awesome.
How about you guys?
Jason, I'll throw it over to you.
I have not traveled at all. In fact, I've done the opposite of travel. I've stayed. Probably the closest I got is I went over, which is part of the reason why I'm here tonight. I think I was over at my sister's house. Let's see, for Christmas, and then for New Year's, and then her birthday was last weekend, and so I was just sort of like. So that's the only traveling I've done is just across town to see my niece and nephew.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're in tonight. Ordered pizza. It's supposed to snow, so and I was telling David, I'm right now having a fight with Walmart because they were supposed to deliver my groceries at 2:00, and nobody can tell me when it's coming. That's all I want. They're supposed to tell me when. That's all I want.
Looks,
I bet
well, at least
if it's gonna snow.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like they're like, so probably to be sometime, between now and tomorrow morning, and I'm like, so like you're gonna deliver my groceries in the middle of the
Like 1 a.m.
What does that mean? 2:00 in the morning, you're gonna deliver all my frozen food outside? What does that mean? So.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm trying not to be too distracted by the playoff game. But
yeah, I was gonna say that'll keep you up.
5, David. So
that could keep you up till between 11 and midnight tonight.
The good news is that anybody nuts, so that'll wake me
right.
up. But that's not ideal. I would prefer to just just know when they're coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, or at least have a time frame.
Yeah, like time frame. Like, we'll be here tomorrow.
It's
we'll
not
be here
20 hours.
between 1 and 4. That's fine. I mean, I needed one of the things to make dinner tonight, but I just ended up ordering pizza. So,
yeah.
So that's I should build them for the pizza though. I'm thinking about it now.
You should.
We started doing HelloFresh because we've been eating out a lot, and I don't cook. I can't cook, so I thought they give you everything you need with instructions. I thought it would be a good way to teach me how to use our kitchen. So that's been fun so far.
I've used HelloFresh, and honestly, the food is so good. But if you get them if you start looking at how much they're charging you, you're like, oh my god, this is so expensive. But the quality is really good.
It's cheaper than eating out, which is what we've been doing.
It is. That's true.
The quality is really good. So far, we've liked everything. There was one thing that was all right, but wasn't the greatest. But the other two things we've made, we've really liked.
That's good. I'm trying to think of. I haven't had any misses. One that I had recently was like this Middle Eastern bowl that it was rice with chickpeas, red pepper, some other stuff, and this like sour cream kind of dressing. And man, it was so good. Like they've been the last shipment I got was really good. But I know you guys didn't come here to listen to us talk about HelloFresh for
or did you?
Or did you? Right. So Emily, since you're the freshest on the Book of Boba Fett, and since we did an episode on it last night, tell us what are your thoughts through the first 3 episodes. What have you liked, What have you not liked, and what are you hoping to see in these last four?
Um, so my husband and I watched the first episode together, and I
Mm,
was all right with it. Felt pretty neutral, and he liked
mm,
it, which I was surprised because it's kind of hard to get him to like anything, but he liked it. Um, so watching the second and the third episode today, I really
yeah.
liked the second episode, which was really focused on the Tuscans and
Right.
him, I guess, learning their ways, and I it was really good. The third episode I didn't quite like as much.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, I don't know, like it didn't tell the cohesive story, I guess, like the others have been. It just
Yeah.
seemed like it was a different vibe than
Yeah.
the first two.
I agree with that. I think it's been my
You know,
rankings so far: episode 2, episode 1, episode 3.
Yeah.
and
Um,
now Robert Rodriguez, I know, did 1 and 3. Did he do 2 as well?
no. There was. Oh, I'm forgetting. I have to look it up now because it's gonna bother me.
Yeah, I wasn't
Okay,
paying
so
attention.
maybe the issue is and not that it's a huge issue, but I don't know. It's I don't know how much TV Robert
I
Rodriguez
did
has
really
done, but
like, I loved all the Rancor stuff in episode 3. That was great.
Yes.
I made my heart happy. He was just like, he's like, oh, it's not the spot.
Yeah. So the director of the second episode was Steph Green, and that episode, and maybe it was because of the length as well. Maybe that helped it a little bit.
It was a lot longer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 52 minutes, so you're getting an extra almost 15 minutes for that episode versus the 38 for episodes 1 and 3. So
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I want to know why live action Star Wars, there's always that discrepancy. I know Marvel does it too with Hawkeye and the other shows, but generally speaking, you would think the live action shows would be between 45 to an hour.
Yeah.
And where the animated would be, the more half hour,
Yeah.
35-minute episode. So I don't know why they do it that way.
Yeah.
And you would think
Um,
though, and this isn't just for Boba Fett. I think this is for like all of like the Disney Plus shows. You would think with episodes only being like 35, 38, 32 minutes that there wouldn't be like any fat. Like it would just be like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, things are happening.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily seem to be the case. I mean, in all of them. So
Yeah. Like they had that whole car chase scene at the end of episode 3, and the whole time,
Mhm.
like I had lost interest by then. I'm like, I don't understand why this is
where do you stand,
what we're
Emily, on
spending
the
time on.
Vespa on the Vespa crew?
On the oh, is that the like the retro style cars? Is that
Yeah, that's the one. That's the thing that the internet's all upset about is that they're not even that
all
they're,
right?
they're on Vespas, but that their Vespas are clean. It seems to be the bigger problem.
Yeah, I guess
That
I
they're
just
clean.
don't. I it's not that it's not like it's not my Star Wars kind of thing. I just
Yeah.
from a storytelling perspective, I don't understand it because those kids were introduced as like they were out of work, they didn't have any money, so they were stealing
Mhm.
water.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then
Somebody says they
I
were
don't
stealing
understand
water
how
to wash their bikes.
well, and I don't understand because they were able to afford all these, like, I don't know, like getting their arms and
Yeah.
eyes and replaced, and they have
Yeah.
and they're retro style, so I don't know, like I'm like, well, maybe they're old cars, but then I'm like, no, they look like they're newer than like the
Yeah.
other
And
vehicles.
I do like Lonely Wolf's point that the third
Yeah.
episode was weaker. Like that was the I think that was the Frog Lady episode of season 2.
Yeah.
So
So
Like-
it's not that I'm like inherently against that style. I just don't, from a storytelling perspective, I was confused. I was like, so are they rich or are they poor?
Right.
Well, the other thing too is you also didn't get to see them fight. Like he just hires them because they were ripping people
Yeah.
off, and they never were. It was never
Hey
like,
guys, met my parents. I'm just popping on to say hi real quick because I haven't seen you
Okay.
in a while.
Hi, Rachel. Good to see you.
We're just chatting Book of Boba Fett. So
but that like he hires them, but they hadn't like seen them fight. He just knows that
Yeah.
they steal from the water guy. That was it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was really confused.
yeah, I think what could happen, and this was a thing with that episode from Mando that Lonely Wolf was mentioning. I would hope that each group of people or individual character that we meet along the way, they'll come back to influence the story in a larger sense. Because with her, she kind of pointed him in the way of, oh, here's where I have to go to find so and so, and it provides for comedic relief with Grogu and whatnot with the eggs. But the thing that I liked about The Mandalorian is even those episodes that weren't necessarily driving the meat of the plot, they were still really well done and a lot of world building. This one, you're stuck on Tatooine. So you can
Yeah.
only do so much and you're only in one city. That's why I said last night I'm far more as of right now, I'm far more interested in the flashback sequences than I am with what's going on in the present day, because I feel like the flashback sequences are dealing with the most interesting part of the show, which is the Tusken Raiders and that whole relationship. And then
Yeah.
we're gonna assume that we see how he, found Fennec, how he, got like, did he have a run in with Cobb Vanth for the armor? Did anything like that ever happen? Or was he always just kind of hanging back once he saw that he was on Tatooine? So I think that storyline is better right now. Obviously, that could change.
Yeah.
Like, once, I think season 1 is, showing where we are and catching up, and then season 2 will be just full on, if there's a season 2, which I assume there will be. Because we talked about this last night. They've been pretty forthcoming about which shows are limited and which shows don't necessarily have a cap on them. And as of right now, I haven't heard a cap for Andor, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka. The only one I've heard a cap for is Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that's
So
I think that's
we'll
mostly
see.
because they probably know they can't get Ewan McGregor for a season 2. They're like, okay, we'll just
Yeah.
do 6.
Yeah,
It's funny. I felt the opposite of the way you did, David. Like I was
yeah,
up until the 3rd episode, I was really more interested in the here and now, except until this week's episode when I was just like, well, the here and now is boring because, I mean, we've been to the mayor's office like twice in 2 episodes. It's just sort of like, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Lonely Wolf brings up
Secret
an
agenda.
interesting point. And I think this thinking, as he says, really only works in TV, because if that group or that character alone showed up in one of the movies, I'd be like, I'm no longer going to think any new character is going to make that much of an impact. Because Exhibit A, Knights of Ren,
well,
they were just there. But the TV stuff has shown characters they're bringing in do have a larger impact. Like, and we're bridging different mediums, like Black Chrysanthemum from the Dr. Aphra comics. He's making the jump and already being, a force. We're getting the Pikes, which were in Solo, or mentioned in
Yes.
Solo. We're getting...
Yeah, and I know I saw some about the Pikes. I saw some like notes about how they look, but
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way they look, and I think with the
Me too.
masks on, like you could totally tell that they're pikes. I don't think it's
Yeah, yeah.
I never.
than
You
how
know,
they're in
it's
Clone
been so
Wars.
long since I'd seen the pikes in animation that I forgot that they were different. So I
Yeah.
didn't. So like I didn't even care. So
And it's also probably, you look at their design in the Clone Wars, and you try to bring something like that into live action, and unless you CGI it, it's just
Yeah.
kind of not practical. The headpieces are like really long, and
Yeah,
this
their
and they're
necks
just
are really
they're
long.
making it, yeah, they're just making it easier to transition, and not having to rely on too much CGI. Because even the Rancor was a puppet,
Yeah.
which I thought
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
I mean, look, if the biggest problem on the show was that the Pikes headpieces were not right,
Yeah,
that
right.
would be one thing. That's like so low on my list of things that I'm like, what
Yeah.
is that about?
Yeah.
That I could care less.
Well,
Like I said, I didn't even notice.
and no, I think the thing I like most about this show is the production. I think it looks so good. All
It does.
the alien creatures look amazing, and the special effects look pretty good too. The episode 3 of the special effects were in the car chase. Yeah. But when they did the train and the train crashed and all the like sand flew up, I just sat there thinking, how did they do that?
Yeah.
Because it looked real.
Right.
Yeah, it did. Oh, pointing out the space hamsters used as sweat rags for the huts. I thought that was funny. I was waiting for one of them to eat one.
Yeah,
I know,
that was
I'm
what
so
I thought.
glad.
I thought that they were going to eat it, and then they just
Yeah.
dabbed the sweat off of his head.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's actually better. That's actually better than eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
Were
the
they
little
conjoined?
this week the little
No,
creature
I don't think so.
made a comeback from Return of the Jedi that sits out front with the long tongue and eats
Yeah.
things. That one came back.
That one did come back. I forget. Do we know? I think it's still going on. I could be totally wrong. But is pod racing still going on Tatooine?
Nobody's talked about it since episode 1, so I don't know.
Because I just really want to see the two announcers again. I
Has
miss
anybody
those
brought
guys.
it up? Like, I don't even think in Clone Wars they brought it up again. I mean, I don't think they brought it up since.
I don't know. I
Maybe
think
maybe they're like, once a kid wins, what's the point of watching a pod race anymore?
I think if Boba needed something to do, you could go check out the Boonta Eve Classic. Get a couple tickets. I think that'd be fun. But who knows? Maybe
It would be
somebody
cool to
knows.
bring it back. Well, and you can tell that it seems like the writers of the show understand Star Wars. Like there are
Yeah.
things thrown in that references that I wouldn't get unless I saw them on Twitter. Like
Yeah.
the fruit, he crashes into the fruit, and they're like, someone on Twitter was like, "That's Hera's favorite fruit."
Oh yeah.
For
Oh, is it
Rebels.
Hera's
I'm
favorite fruit? I didn't know that.
I forgot about that.
I knew that the fruit had been in like Rebels or something, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Hera's favorite fruit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Emily, I have a question for you because I pointed this out last night in the episode, and Jason got the reference right away. But the biker gang, did it remind you at all of Griff's gang in Back to the Future Part 2?
I don't know if I've seen that movie.
Oh no! Rachel said the same thing. She hasn't seen it. Well, whenever you do, keep it in mind because, it's not so much the way they were acting, but the way they were dressed. Very, with a lot of enhancements and whatnot, and it just really reminded me of Back to the Future.
That reminded me.
Yeah, I think I've only seen the first one.
Okay.
Is one of them a Western?
Yeah, that's the third one.
Third one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Yeah. Back to the Future 2 takes place in the far distant year of 2015.
Yeah,
So,
which is already
Oh,
7 years ago.
that's weird. Wow.
In 3 years, I can't even believe it. In 3 years, The Force Awakens will have been 10.
wow.
Oh, God.
Wow. That's actually depressing.
David, David, you froze.
He's so proud of himself. He pointed that out. He's frozen there.
But yeah, I liked it. I didn't expect. I don't know if we're doing spoilers, but
I froze, didn't I?
the part in the third episode where he finds out what happened to the people trying to
The
talk around
Tuscans.
this.
We were
Yeah,
all spoilery last night.
I did not expect that, and I got really sad because before I decided to watch episode 3, the third episode, I was just gonna come on and tell you guys, you can talk about it. I don't care if you spoil anything, but I'm glad that I watched it because that would have really upset me.
Yeah.
I think the other problem that I think the show has is I don't know. It's like I'm thinking about the second season of Mandalorian, and like he would go to one place and find out he needed to go to this other place, then he would go to that place, and so like the end of like the end of each episode spurred him on to going to what the next episode was going to be about. And this one, I know that the arc is that he's trying to be the crime boss of Tatooine, but I don't know. It really doesn't feel like he's making a lot of progress with that. Like, I don't feel like he's any closer to running Tatooine than he was, before he shot Bib. Like I guess after he shot Bib. So I guess I would like to see him win something. He doesn't. Boba hasn't. I guess that's the thing. He hasn't really had a win except for maybe that long car chase that he wasn't even involved in. He just flew in at the end of, which again I said like, why didn't he just? He had a rocket pack. Why isn't he on top of this guy? Like literally on top of this guy.
Yeah.
I think that the main arc will be that ruling with compassion will be worth it in the end. That he will gain all of these allies. I feel like, David, if you remember, I feel like I predicted this when we were talking about our predictions of this show, and I'm like, oh, he's going to come in and rule and like change Tatooine morally.
Yeah.
I don't know what show this was, but I know
no place
I went
deserves
on
it
a
more
thing
than
about
Tatooine. That place is kind of a dump. But
listen,
kind of makes you wonder why he wants it. But
so far, he's really been the only one that's kind of maintained a non-strict isn't necessarily the right term, but definitely a little more lenient than I thought he would be. And I think that's gonna it's a lot more psychological in a way. Like the whole thing with the throwing the assassin into the pit and then not having the rancor, those little mind games I think are gonna go a long way for him.
Well, I think maybe I need to figure out how to pronounce the guy's name, Black, because I keep calling him Black Chrysanthemum. But I think maybe sparing him might come back, later on.
Is that the Wookiee?
Yeah, the big Wookiee. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
David knows his name. I keep calling him Black Chrysanthemum, and then I found out
he's from the comics.
Yeah, he was from the comics, and I found out today
from the comics,
who wrote the comics said that before he had a name, everybody called him Nubaka, which I like that name too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's clever.
I love people.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a name for him. They just knew they wanted this Wookiee bounty hunter, and so he was called Nubaka. So now I might just call him Nubaka.
Yeah, I had a bit of a hot take about that character last night, and I said that the way that the costume for Black Chrysanthemum looks, in my opinion, it looks better than Chewie.
I think you're right.
I think
you're right.
It looks, and maybe this isn't the right word necessarily to use, but I look at that character versus Chewie, and Black Chrysanthemum just looks and feels more real to me. You know, it looks like a beast rather than Chewie looks like, yeah, it's a person inside of a suit. You know,
Yeah.
It's
and
a
I
mom.
don't know what I don't know why I think that. Maybe it's because we know the actors who've played Chewie so well now. They're like, oh, you know, there's that familiarity where you don't. I mean, I'm sure in the credits you know who's playing him, but when you see him on screen, you're like, yeah, that's like a,
Well,
you
I
know, they
think it
found Bigfoot.
benefits. I mean, I think if anything, it benefits when they, when they designed the Chewbacca costume in 1975. They were just like, just make it look good, and then once they
Yeah,
had that and the character was popular, it always looked like that. Whereas this
Yeah.
one, they were like, just make a, make a badass Wookiee.
yeah,
So that was
Yeah.
the thing. So
I feel like his eyes are more expressive. Like they're able
yeah,
to.
you
Yes.
can see
more.
his eyes a lot more than Chewie.
yeah. That stare in the
Yeah.
second episode that he
Mhm.
gives Boba, I was like, this dude will f you up, and he ended up effing him up in the third episode. So
He did. And I mean, it would have been the end of the show, but like he should have killed Boba. Like,
you
he
heard
should
his
have-
bones cracking.
Yeah,
He should be paralyzed.
He should have killed Boba.
You know,
Boba should be
he-
in his own back to tank, not the Gamorrean that got bit in the neck.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like I have a feeling we'll see him again. Very few characters from The Mandalorian we only saw once.
Right.
So I kind of got a feeling we'll see him again. Maybe
Yeah.
fighting
I mean, the
against-
last thing we saw of him was he was running off into the desert. So
Yeah, I mean they could have killed him. They didn't.
yeah, I think somebody like that, I would try to sway him to my side. You know, but who knows?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I mean, look, Boba needs as many friends as he can get.
Yeah.
I kind of get why he drafted the Vespa gang, but
Right.
It's only him and Fennec against everybody else. So
Yeah. Which even then, that's still a formidable group.
well, yeah, they took
know.
on all those assassins in the first
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're nothing to sneeze at, but it's only two guys.
Yeah.
If they're in a fight with more than two people, their odds of winning goes down dramatically. So
Yeah.
that's just sheer.
So
numbers.
the mayor, I forget his name.
The Major
The one
Domo.
with the
Yeah. I don't know his actual name either, but
that species. I don't know. It looked so real. How was that a puppet? The
oh, you're talking about the Athorian with the translator.
Yes.
See, I only know him
Yes.
as a hammerhead.
That's
because that's the action figure I had.
Mok
Hammerhead.
Shaiz is what
Ah.
Oh, I
Boba
can
how
say
Boba
that.
pronounces it.
That's why I like having you around.
Oh, this is the pillow
How
I
did
got
they-
this week.
He looks
This is a
he
Star
looks
Wars- I
so
think
real.
Nice.
It's,
Oh, that's
all
nice.
Action figures I had when I was a kid. I found pictures of them, so I made it.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh, I love
That's awesome.
that.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I gotta do that for my pop vinyls.
Well,
It's
I've
like
got
fuzzy.
my family like personalized mugs for Christmas. So
Oh, okay.
You got like a free thing if you do that. So that was my free.
Nice.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
they
I
did
only
the
know him as a
puppet?
Hammerhead because that was
I don't know.
that was the action figure was Hammerhead.
Yeah, that's
what they
like
called
It
him
looks
on
so
set,
real.
and then sometime
It does.
in the 90s, he became an Ithorian.
I know the Pikes were puppets as well. I saw a picture on Twitter. One of the actors had the head on, but it was one of those puppets that's like half animatronic, where the face has like the muscle features, so like you
Probably
can
like how they
form
did.
expressions.
Oh God, what was his name? Quilly.
Queel,
Nick
Queel,
Nolte from season
Yeah.
1 of Mando,
Queel.
where it's a mask, and I think they probably just CGI the lips.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing it good.
Doing it very well.
keep doing it.
I think Neil Scanlon, who does the creatures for the movies, I know he's doing it for Andor, and from what he said there, which I think this is how they're treating all these shows, they're treating it like, a film production, because it's basically a movie just stretched out over 7 hours.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Same
not
with,
really 7 hours. I mean, we're
well,
getting technical here. We got 3
5 hours
episodes.
and 47 minutes.
Yeah, and about
Yeah.
like an hour and 45 minutes of actual show.
But yeah, show's been good so far. I think the last four are gonna ramp up. But Emily, what are your thoughts on the finale in terms of someone or a group that might show up? Do you have any thoughts?
I don't. I feel like I should.
So we're theorizing that
Uh-huh.
since we're dealing with crime syndicates, since War of the Bounty Hunters has been going on, since a certain character and crime syndicate have been mentioned and featured, we think that the finale of the Book of Boba Fett, setting up season 2, will feature Crimson Dawn.
Oh, you think?
I think so.
It's just kind of it's in a weird spot of the timeline.
She's around at I forget what the
she's
story
definitely
was.
around between.
She's around in
Empire
Return of the
and
Jedi.
because that's when the War of the Bounty Hunters takes place.
Yeah. So if Crimson Dawn is still a thing, and if they're trying to like expand or something, I could see them giving Boba a little bit of an issue.
Well, the Pikes were like a third of Crimson Dawn. Like they were, it was like the Pikes, and then whoever Voss was, and then the guys from the original Shadows of the Empire.
Prince Shizor.
Prince Shizor's group.
Yeah.
Like when there was that scene in Clone Wars where Maul was talking to those three people.
Yeah.
So it made it seem like those were like the three main groups of Crimson Dawn. And also,
So are you saying you think Emilia Clarke will come on?
I think so. I don't even think she needs to show her face, but if you hear her voice in like a hologram, I think that could be done. Be done. And then maybe we find out that Maul is actually alive and they just stitched up his chest. The Boba found him on Tatooine like 20 years later. Just laying on the ground.
My husband would never watch another Star Wars. He would be so mad. He was mad the first resurrection, and I don't think he could survive the second.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I like Maul as a character, but I remember when they were like, when he was like, he's coming back to Clone Wars, and I was like,
yeah.
And at this point, I am so burned out on characters coming back from the dead in Star Wars that
I agree.
I don't want to see another one.
Well,
there's
speaking
only
of
one I'd
characters
like to
coming
see.
back from the wait, who?
Mace Windu. I think there's some unresolved
I don't
unresolved stuff there.
Well, and I can see him coming back for the show with Boba.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like if he comes back though, he's got to get his head chopped off.
Yeah.
God, I hope it didn't happen.
That's
as is
poetic justice.
Everyone's right.
You know,
poetic justice. But I was saying that they did mention the Witches of Dathomir in this episode, which was unexpected, but a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Right.
Is Asajj alive or dead?
Is who?
Is Asajj Ventress alive or
dead? She's long dead.
Dead. Rip.
Yeah.
Dead? When did
She's
she die?
super dead.
She's dead.
She's super dead. Like
okay, no, I'm not. I couldn't remember. I know
she died a long time ago.
Wars, and I think she was. I know she was in a book and in an arc that they didn't finish, but I never.
Yeah. But the witches, like Mother Townsend.
Mother Townsend, I know those guys are all dead.
She,
those guys out.
but she can come back, right? She's come back before as a ghost.
Yeah, no, again,
I think
unless it's a Force ghost, I don't want anybody else coming back from the dead in Star Wars. Not for like a good 10 years. Just give me 10 years of no resurrection.
Kind of like Force ghosts.
Force ghosts are cool. They set that up early, but now it's like
there's only one character aside from Mace Windu, and the Mace Windu thing. It's just it's one of those things where I didn't see him land. Kind of with Maul, you didn't see him land. You saw him fall, but you did.
You
He
did
kind of
see him though chopped in two pieces,
you did right, but
which is an
Anything's
interesting thing
possible.
because this is a long story, but part of the reason, well, story from long ago. The story's not that long, but I can make it long. The reason that Maul was in two pieces falling down the shaft is because George Lucas wanted to make it clear to the audience that he was dead in 1999.
well, that surely didn't work out.
And then, yeah, it did not work out at all because, like, by 2010, he's like, well, bring back Maul. I'm like, okay, George.
Jeez, like okay, I don't know. I guess if you get chopped in half with a lightsaber, you're cauterizing,
Yeah,
the wound.
you're not gonna bleed out.
You're not bleeding out, and you're not really.
You miss major organs.
Yeah,
and who knows where his organs are because he's not human.
No, you're just gonna build a lot of upper body strength.
I still want the episode of Clone Wars that talks about what happened to his leg.
They just they went down the wrong, like.
And by the
shoot.
way, it wasn't that he just got cut in half. He got cut in half at the waist. So it wasn't just his legs that disappeared. It was other vital parts of him as well. So
again, we don't know his anatomy.
This is true.
We just assume we know.
That's true. But he does wear pants.
Same thing with the Tuscans. I was having this conversation with my husband. we don't know what they look like. We don't know if they're human.
In a comic, I want to say like 20-something years ago, they did unwrap. I feel like they unwrapped the Tuscan to see what they look like. So it's
like unwrapping a mummy.
Yeah,
it's like taking off a Jawa's hood and whatever mask they're wearing.
Yeah, and I remember it was a Jawa that you finally saw saw what was underneath that hood.
I saw one of those, and I think it was Legends, and my God, they are terrifying.
Yeah,
the Jawas, that is. The Tuscans, I would just be kind of disappointed if they're just like, if they look human and are just like.
Yeah. I want them to unwrap the Tuscan and they're just beautiful. Like the most beautiful men and women.
They're like the elves from Lord of the Rings, just blonde hair and
the Harry Potter ones,
like in Demon Slayer. I don't know if you guys have seen Demon Slayer. There's a character like that. He wears a boar's head, and at one point he takes the boar's head mask off, and he's just like beautiful underneath it, even though he's like savage.
Yeah.
He's got like big sparkling eyes.
I think that they should just be the most beautiful human beings you've ever seen. Just like they're just the most beautiful creatures. Just like, oh my God.
I think it's weird that they drink through the hole in their mask.
It's super weird. But I want to know more. And like I'm conflicted. In one way I don't want them to unmask them. In another way I do. Yeah. But it's like that mystery is still cool. Like I kind of want them to leave it how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would just like a reason. Like I want to know.
I was reading something and listening to something, and they said that maybe what it is because they were talking about how, Tatooine used to be a water planet.
Yeah.
Or had oceans at least, and that maybe they were indigenous to the oceans.
Oh, and
that they need all of that stuff so that they can survive in the heat without all the moisture.
Oh, that's fair.
Well, I think it makes sense to have all of it to survive in the sand too.
Yeah.
After reading Dune,
I was just
Star
gonna
Wars
bring
is
up
ruined. Ruined for me because I used to think Star Wars was so original and unique and just like came from above.
It's like all about spice.
And now it's
that's
totally
why
a rip-off of Dune.
That's why George Lucas put the crate dragon in A New Hope. It was a callback. Yeah. It was kind of a subtle callback to the sandworms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dune, and I'm fine with, paying homage to, but it's ruined for me lately.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, watching the show in particular, I'm like, Dune.
Now, did you see the movie too?
I did.
I loved the movie.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
It's as good
as it was.
It's as good a movie as the original one is weird. and that original one is so weird.
I every time I saw the original one on TV, and I'm like, I can't sit through this movie. And I remember I put it on one day, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I am so lost. So I just never watched it again.
That's the first
I
movie
haven't
I've
seen
ever
any
seen
others.
where they do close-ups on somebody's inner monologue. So it'll just be like a close-up of like Colin Farrell's face, and you just hear what he's thinking for like a minute and a half, and you're like, what is going on?
It's like, am I hearing a book? Like just this face on the screen? It's like...
and they do that with all the characters, like at different moments.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Because you think about it, like if you were actually there, like in the real world of that when it was happening, it would just be some guy just sort of staring off into space for like a minute and a half while he's thinking about something. But this is the segue I was gonna try and make to Dune. Back to Star Wars. I saw a thing on Twitter. I don't know how real it is, but they said that being considered for Thrawn is Sting. And I thought about that. I was like, ooh.
Sting?
I can get on board with Sting.
Like
as
Sting from The Police?
Yeah, Sting.
I didn't even know he was an actor.
He's in Dune. He's in the Dune.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in the 84 Dune.
Oh, in the 84 Dune.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's done some movies. He's done he did like it's not Snatch, but it's the other Guy Ritchie movie. It's Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels or something like that.
Smoking.
Every now and then Sting he was in Only Murders in the Building. Sting was playing Sting, but he was in it. So
I don't know. I mean, all I'll be thinking of is if he's Thrawn.
I'm just like, all right, when is
if he looks great if he's 70.
But he does have a very Thrawn feature with the whole tantric sex thing. So
I'm just saying if he plays Thrawn, I expect to have the police perform on whatever Star Destroyer.
I'm sure they could get the other two guys in the police to play like stormtroopers and beat them up. I don't think that would.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be hard. I think Sting's the get. I don't think the other two guys are.
I want a scene where he walks into like a barracks, and if they do cast the other two band members, they're like writing music and are like, "Man, I never wanted to be a stormtrooper. I want to start a band," and they're writing every breath you take.
I do. There was a story. I think it was some interview with Sting, where this is before they reunited. I guess about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But they were invited to Sting's wedding, and they thought they would just play a couple of songs at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they were in like the middle of the first song, and they were already pissed at each other.
Oh my god!
Right. So it's like, yeah, I don't think our union's ever going to happen.
God, yeah, it was the one in 2007, and then that was it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Oh, Emily, I forgot to tell you. I have another prediction of who's going to show up in the last episode.
Give it to me.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
I would die.
We're going to see the portals open in the back.
By the way,
like,
the amount of love that I am seeing in the press for Andrew Garfield at this point, I don't think that dude.
Best.
If that dude had any self-esteem issues, they got to be gone at this point. Like,
it's the best.
Everybody was like, he's the best Spider-Man. He's the he was. I saw Tick Tick Boom. He's great in that. He's fantastic in that.
Yeah.
Well, I only saw the first 10 minutes, but yeah. Did he get a Grammy? He got nominated, right?
He got nominated for
maybe not a Grammy. Not a Grammy.
But since the Golden Globe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The G in there.
Yeah. Yeah, he got nominated for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't have a singing background before that movie. He learned how to sing for that movie.
He's great. He's really
and
great.
He said that he is more than happy to reprise his role as Spider-Man.
See, I think they should make him. I think they should make him because he can't be the MCU Spider-Man.
No, the Sony Spider-Man.
They could, and with the amount of money that No Way Home has made, they're going to try and keep Tom Holland as the Sony Spider-Man. But there's no reason he can't be the Venom Spider-Man or the Morbius Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I
think my theory, and I could probably totally wrong, but I think this delay for Morbius I think that's because they're probably putting him in a post-credit scene or something.
I would be down for that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's COVID related at all, because even though cases are like ramping up and stuff, I haven't seen closures to that magnitude. Aside from like award ceremonies in some schools, why does this keep on turning off? It just
Keep
you ever,
really on
hasn't.
your
you ever
toe.
on a motion sensor and you just start moving enough?
What's
Every now and then, just wave your
light
hand.
hooked
I
up
like
to
how
the
the
TV?
Star Wars is still lit
No,
up.
that's cool. I like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, um, I don't think he'll get his own movie again, but I could see him being in some of those other movies.
Yeah, because I can't.
Yeah. If he does get his own
pretty
movie,
much
I
set
would
up in No
be
Way Home
so happy.
that Tom Holland isn't going to be the Venom Spider-Man. So why not make him
Right. He's gonna have his
Andrew
own
Garfield?
Venom in
Yeah.
the MCU because the symbiote's left behind. So,
Right.
Yeah.
which I cannot
Yeah,
wait
and
for
I
that
would-
movie to be released.
You know, I would like to see an older Spider-Man too.
Me too.
Yeah,
He's
Me too.
38, which blew my mind. I
know.
didn't think he was that old.
Yeah.
he looks so good.
He doesn't look that good. I thought maybe he was 30. Maybe.
No,
Yeah.
he was 30 when
Nice.
he played
When he
Spider-Man
did-
as a teenager.
He was 30 shooting. Because let's see, second was 2014. So yeah,
2014.
filming late 2012, 2013. Yeah. It was the long hair in the first movie that made him look younger.
Oh God.
He got a haircut.
Emily's gonna go
Spider-Man
watch
too,
The
but
Amazing
I like
Spider-Man.
the spiky. I like the spiky.
I will.
long hair.
Yeah,
Just straight up.
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
He's just
Oh, what was I gonna say?
10 out of 10.
But anyway. Oh, I know I wrote on Twitter that I was gonna get my tattoo this past Tuesday or Monday.
Yeah, did you?
Postponed until the 26th. My artist,
Oh.
he unfortunately got COVID.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah, he texted me
Oh.
the day before, and I was like, oh, but he's doing good. We're all
Now,
set
what are
for
you?
the
What are you
26th.
getting? You're getting.
Half sleeve.
Uh-huh.
So putting in Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and wrapping it around.
Oh, okay. With
To
the
the Toby on the other
you
side.
already have.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think bottom half, probably the end of the year, will be the villains. Maybe Green Goblin, Doc Ock. And
My
Oh,
nephew
that'd be
is
cool.
obsessed with the
Yeah.
Green Goblin. I don't know what it
Really?
is. He's obsessed with
it's Willem. I'm just gonna get Willem Dafoe's face.
it. Oh yeah, that would be my question. Are you going to get the mask? Or you're going to get Willem Dafoe?
I don't know. Haven't decided yet. I kind of don't want to get a person's face.
Yeah.
I'd rather probably get, unless, I mean, Doc Ock, you kind of have to.
Well, you kind of have
But
to. for
goggles,
Shocker.
it's
no,
a
Shocker,
little
you don't
easier.
have- Not Shocker.
Electro, you could have
Electro.
the face, or the, yeah.
Are you going to get? Are you going to get? What was I going to say? What was I going to ask? Are you going to get the Vulture and Mysterio as well, or just?
I'll ask him, be like,
Okay.
see whatever fits. And whatever doesn't fit, and however he can work around what I already have, I don't know.
If you get Venom, get the movie Venom. That way you can have like
Yeah.
a group of villains, then just have like the head on like a string. That
Yeah.
comes out
Yeah.
of Venom.
No, I'll get the Topher Grace Venom.
Oh,
I'm gonna show you guys my puppy.
Oh, look at him.
I was trying mine, but she like won't come out. She's asleep. She's got the bed all to herself. She's like, screw you.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, he has been
Cool.
laying in this chair like a good boy, but today our trainer said that he's not allowed on furniture for 3 weeks.
Oh.
He has to earn it because he likes to chew on our couch and get the pillows and stuff. So we're trying to nip that in the bud. Yeah,
Okay.
so he's
That's
on the
good.
floor.
That's good. All right, guys. Well, we're up to an hour. Probably going to be a short one tonight. But we're back. full,
We are.
full steam ahead with new episodes and sticking back to the old schedule. So, thank you for watching Lonely Wolf 1980. We appreciate it. Appreciate the comments. We've got new episodes coming out on Monday, and we're back to the every other Wednesday for the news show. Also live on YouTube at 8 and happy hours at 7 on Saturdays. So, yeah, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, even though it's January 15th. But we're back, and we'll be much more consistent this year.
I wouldn't promise
that. Yeah, maybe don't listen to me. This episode probably I'll forget to do whatever, and you won't get it till like March. It's fine.
Why did you pick about episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, it's like it's show's over. We're talking about Obi-Wan now.
That ended in February.
Listen, we did Spider-Man like 20 years later.
Yeah. Oh man.
Was fun. I'm jonesing for that. That's why I was like pushing the other day. I'm like, so what are we doing next? I just want to know what the next movie is.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Yeah, I think we should jump into Iron Man coming. Personally.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to talk about it. Which reminds me, follow us on our Marvel podcast, Followers of the Multiverse, on Twitter, and our Instagram
was much
page
more
and
active
on YouTube.
This past few months.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Until next time, may the Force be with you always.